When a guy reaches out after a period of no contact, it's very rarely just a random act. There's usually a deeper motivation behind it. One of the biggest reasons, and you might not like hearing this, is that he's trying to find out if he still has access to you. That's it. That's the test. He wants to see if the door is still open, even just a little bit. And how you respond in that moment tells him everything he needs to know about how much ground he still holds in your life. Now, he might not even be consciously aware that he's doing this. A guy won't sit there thinking, let me check if she's still into me. But what does happen is this instinctive pull to reach out to test the connection. Not because he's ready for something real, not because he's suddenly transformed into the man of your dreams, but because he wants reassurance. Reassurance that if he needed the validation, it's there. And that's where you have to be very, very careful. He might send you a message that seems sweet, innocent even, something like, hey, just thinking of you, or hope you're doing okay. And your brain goes into overdrive. Oh my God, he's been thinking about me. Maybe he misses me. Maybe this is it. Maybe he's finally realized what we had. But what if I told you that message wasn't really about you? But what if it was more about him, about his ego, about calming the discomfort he's feeling because for once you're not available on demand? That's what makes this moment so dangerous, because the test isn't always obvious. He's not going to say, I'm just checking if you still care about me. He's going to wrap it in casual, friendly, or even flirtatious language. And if you respond immediately, if you sound too enthusiastic, if you open the emotional floodgates, he gets what he came for, confirmation that you're still there. But here's the twist. He might not do anything with that information. He might disappear again right after. Why? Because his goal wasn't to reconnect. His goal was to know he could. That's what access is all about, emotional access. Does he still have your attention? Does he still affect your day? Can he still get a response? If the answer is yes, he walks away with a confidence boost while you're left wondering what just happened. And in that moment, you might even feel worse than before he reached out because it's confusing. It gives false hope and it reopens a door that you were just starting to close. The truth is, some people thrive on knowing they still hold power in your life, even if they have no intention of stepping back into it. Even if they've already shown you they're not capable of giving you what you deserve. They don't want the relationship, but they don't want to lose the option. And that's where you need to be grounded. That's where you need to pause and ask yourself, why is he reaching out now? Has anything actually changed? Is he asking for something real, or is he just looking for a hit of reassurance? Because when you don't answer immediately, when you don't jump back into that dynamic like nothing happened, it shifts something. It shows him that access to you is not free anymore, that you're not on the shelf waiting to be picked up again, that you have standards, that you're not interested in being someone's emotional backup plan. And that right there, that's where your power is. Let me be clear. This isn't about playing games. This isn't about ignoring someone to get revenge or trying to manipulate the situation. It's about honoring your progress. You went no contact for a reason. You created space for a reason, whether it was to heal, to gain clarity, or to protect your peace. That choice was a statement, I matter too. So when he tests you, don't treat it as a compliment. Don't treat it as proof that he's suddenly become what you always wanted. Treat it as information. Is he showing up differently, or is he just showing up with the same energy in a new disguise? Because the truth is, if a man truly wants you back, if he's serious, he won't test you. He won't send vague messages or half-effort pings. He will show up consistently, clearly, respectfully. Anything less is noise. And sometimes silence is the most powerful response you can give to noise. That's when he'll realize access to you has to be earned. When you decide to step away, to truly go no contact, something powerful happens. You shift the dynamic in a way that's deeply uncomfortable for the other person, especially if they've grown used to having access to you on their terms. This isn't just about your absence. And often when a guy reaches out after a period of no contact, it's not just because he misses you. It's because he's reacting to a loss of control. Let me explain. Control doesn't always look like manipulation. Sometimes it's subtle. It's the unspoken understanding that he could send you a message and you'd reply, that if he called, you'd answer, that if he wanted a little attention, he knew where to get it, and fast. That sense of access gives someone power even if they're not abusing it. It gives them comfort. It reassures them that you're still there, still emotionally invested, still orbiting around their world. But the moment you go no contact, that comfort is shattered. It's like pulling the rug out from under someone who never realized they were standing on one. You stop showing up, you stop initiating, you stop responding. And suddenly, they're left with a silence that forces them to feel something they hadn't had to confront before. Uncertainty. Uncertainty is uncomfortable, especially for someone who's been in control of the emotional rhythm between you both. It makes them question things. Wait, is she really gone? Did I mess this up more than I thought? What if someone else has her attention now? The guy who was once complacent now finds himself trying to decode your silence. And that's a shift in power. This is why you'll often see someone reach out after a period of no contact, but not in a deeply vulnerable or meaningful way. It might be something casual, a random meme, a hey, saw something that reminded me of you, maybe even a lazy, you good? Don't mistake this for genuine reconnection. This is a test. It's a temperature check. It's not about love or growth. It's about whether he still has access to the comfort he lost. If you reply right away, if you fall back into the rhythm he remembers, he gets his answer. Ah, she's still there. And once that reassurance lands, he might go quiet again. You've just passed his test. And that means, in his mind, he can still influence your emotions without needing to show up differently. But if he reaches out and you don't respond, or you respond in a way that's neutral, self-assured, maybe even a little indifferent, he starts to feel the impact of losing real influence over you. And here's the kicker. Most people don't test you after no contact to reconnect. They test you to see if they need to. If you're still available, they don't have to change. They don't have to apologize. They don't have to step up. But if you're no longer easy to reach, no longer easy to read, that pressure starts building because now the ball is in their court. Now they have to decide, are they willing to do the uncomfortable thing and pursue you with clarity and intention, or was their interest only ever about control in the first place? There's a huge difference between someone missing you and someone missing the feeling of you missing them. That second one, that's the kind of ego-driven connection that leads to breadcrumbs, half efforts, and the emotional tug of war that leaves you confused and depleted. But when someone misses you for real, when the loss of control leads not just to discomfort, but to self-reflection, that's where the dynamic has a chance to change. That's when you find out what he's truly made of. Because a man who genuinely wants you back doesn't just test the waters, he jumps in fully. He reaches out with clarity, he shows up with effort, he communicates with purpose. There's no vague texting, there's no games, there's no attempts to make you do the work for him. No contact is a mirror. It reflects your value back to the other person by removing the noise. It forces them to either acknowledge what they lost or walk away because they never truly valued it. And the guy who's reaching out just to test you, he's not doing it because he's sure of what he wants. He's doing it because your silence made him feel something he wasn't ready to feel. The loss of control over the version of you who would have once given him comfort without condition. That's the test you don't see. And the truth is, when you pass his test, by not reacting the way he expects, you're actually giving yourself the ultimate power. You're telling yourself, I won't settle for breadcrumbs. I won't respond to confusion. I won't allow someone to stay emotionally close while remaining romantically unclear. And that's how you stop attracting games and start attracting something real. If your silence shakes him, good, let it. Because if losing access to you is what it takes for someone to realize your worth, then they never deserved easy access to begin with.